I suppose the biggest thing that I'm thinking about right now, Jamie, is what does this mean for Liverpool's title charge? So can you please be positive for me? Because I really need someone to be positive because I feel terrible right now. And if you can't, that's okay.
I'll do it, Chris. Come on. We are literally 8 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Yeah. I know people just take it as read as like, I think because of the City title challenges where if there's games in hand or whatever, it's like, yeah, they win that. Arsenal will probably beat West Ham on Saturday, but they might not. So we are literally, you can't take that point away from us now unless there's some sort of massive scandal, the likes of which we've never seen before. We are literally 8 points clear. I know what you mean. I know why you might be downbeat. I think everybody's expecting it to be 5 points by the time we play City. There's another bit of positivity. City, as we speak, are getting battered by Real Madrid. And it's a bit of a weird one, actually, isn't it? Because, like, City beat Newcastle 4-0, and then it's like, oh, a City back and all that. Then they were the last time I saw a few minutes ago, they were losing 3-0.
Yeah, Mbappe had to.
Still 3-0. So a City bad now again, and a Newcastle still bad because they got battered by City. So we've got 2 easy games coming up. You know, like I don't know. You like I don't actually think that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like. Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm not all doom and gloom, like, oh, we're going to lose to City or flying, so they're going to beat us. Newcastle, they might beat us, we might beat them, I don't know. It's the joy of a title running. I suppose what you'd say is if you're an Arsenal fan and you're watching us, which I imagine some of them are, you're getting plenty of reason for optimism. We're conceding goals at a much bigger rate than we were at the start of the season. We're looking shaky at moments. We're missing open goals from 7 yards out. You know. So yeah, I feel like I've ended that on a negative. I should have ended it on the.
You did that the wrong way around. Now all I'm thinking is we're conceding goals. It's like we can't score from 7 yards out. Thanks for that, Jamie. What a big help you were.
If you're delivering criticism, it's a compliment sandwich, isn't it? Compliment, then the criticism. I should have gone good bit, then the criticism, then a good bit.
Yeah,
but yeah, we did miss a goal. Open
you left
goal
me with a big
from 7 yards out. Yeah,
we can't score from 7 yards out.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that. And listen, I think that what you said at the beginning of the 8 points thing is important. But I can't get away from the fact that the performance there again after the Wolves game, after the Everton game, wasn't good enough for Liverpool Football Club. You know, we can see 2 goals where I think Liverpool's players should do much better.
Yeah.
We do miss big chances, but we're also very lucky in the end of the game, aren't we, Jamie? Because Aston Villa had big chances themselves to put the game to bed, none more so than, was it Morgan Rogers?
Yeah, wow, that was a good chance, yeah. Yeah. I suppose it was, yeah. I think that miss killed all the momentum because it's so much about striking when the iron's hot and stuff like that, and it could have gone either way.
The Núñez miss,
yeah. I think we just started building up a bit of a head of steam there. It's weird, like there wasn't really a sustained there wasn't a sustained 10 minutes where I thought we're on top or they're on top. It seemed very end-to-end. Maybe the period before that Núñez miss was I don't know if it was 10 minutes, but it was a little period where I thought, we're going to get something here. And just at the point where it's like, this is building up to a crescendo, he goes and hits it over the bar. And I feel like that maybe knocked the stuffing out of us a little bit. They came back into it. I mean, it could have been, you know, I said on the Twitter commentary, with 10 minutes to go, all 3 results are on the table here, and it was one of them. It was disappointing when I think, you know, the Liverpool of when we played Villa at Anfield, it was around December time. I think that Liverpool just goes and wins tonight, and there's no messing about. Villa have got good players. They've got, you know, they picked an attacking lineup.
I went for it.
I was suspicious there might be a bit of a game like we had today, a bit of an end-to-end game. But at the end of the day, they've got defensive injuries. We carved out more. I know they had chances, but we carved out more than enough chances to win the game. You know, I don't know if we go 3-2 up. I don't know if we go 4-2 or I still can't say. there's certain games, maybe even linking it to the Wolves game as well with the penalty and the disallowed goal. You think we go 3-0 up there, all of that late drama doesn't need to happen. And we were saying at half-time about, I mentioned the Sheffield United game from last season. It's like, we don't want to start getting embroiled in these games where it's like all hands to the pump, ridiculous. It's, it's like the start of Saving Private Ryan or a war scene from Lord, like goals going in, people getting injured, people diving on the ball. We just want a few calm routine wins, because Slot seems to be so far as being a bit of a master of that. Games where it's like, we weren't really under that much threat there. So maybe that will... maybe that's another cause for optimism for Arsenal fans, that we're now starting to get rattled, and will we have a few more poor results? But we still only lost one game. There's another cause for optimism. I know, but I can't help but feel, and you draw on your experience as a fan, don't you? Yeah. And listen, last season's looming large for me now. It was largely the same group of players, different circumstances, Jürgen, all that type of stuff. But we did go through a spell not far off this time of the season where we got ourselves out of the title race, and that it's those fears that are manifesting themselves for me in what I'm seeing over the last 3 games from this Liverpool side. Now, I'm just going to pull you back to a point you made earlier. If you can take my screen for us, please, Aaron. Nunez's miss was on 69 minutes. I've highlighted the 71st minute there, where we were in control for a good, from 56 minutes, good 15-minute period. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And exactly what you said, once that miss happened, boom, a good near 8-9 minutes of sustained pressure from Aston Villa there. And listen, this was a game. There are positives, of course. There always will be. There's always something that you can pull a thread on. Like, Liverpool were losing this game at half-time, and we didn't lose the game. Yeah. That's a positive in and of itself. We fought our way back in. We started to dominate the game a little bit more. Things didn't quite go our way, and then the game went to pot towards the end. Yeah. But once again, we did find our way in. Now, the negative to that is, well, you were 1-0 up and you were losing at half-time, Chris. So, there's plenty of things to talk about. But, going back to this sort of thinking about last season and thinking about this season and the lack of control maybe that we've had in recent games, Jamie, if nothing else, even if you don't feel as down in the dumps as me, it's cause for concern, right? Yeah,
I think control is the key thing as well, because that's been the kind of the watchword under Slot so far this season. And he said in a press conference the other day, like, if you look back over all of our games, he said, we deserve to lose one, which is Nottingham Forest. If you look back over all of our games, even the ones we didn't win, generally we win the XG, and it's, we've controlled most of them. I just feel like there wasn't very much control there today. Even the Wolves game, the first half, in that, it did feel like there's control. We go 2-0 up, and then somehow we start losing it. So I can understand. Yeah, there is a lot. You think about tiredness. I mean, I said before the game with him playing those 4 midfielders, like, I feel like he only really trusts those 4. He's not going to throw Endo in from the start. All of a sudden, Elliott has been out of the picture. So he's those 4 lads have now had to work their socks off tonight. Yeah, it is. I don't know, you're bringing me down now. I was supposed to inspire you, and you brought me down to your level.
Sorry, mate.
No, I know
it's only my bad, but you were kind of right, because he ends up bringing on Luis Diaz and taking off McAllister, and then moves Szoboszlai deeper into the midfield again, doesn't he? And Jones deeper into the midfield, not Szoboszlai. Yeah. So he ends up with 3 midfielders on the field again, but not using the midfielders that were on the bench.
Yeah.
And again, that might be a trust thing. One thing I just want to go back to, because I thought it was an interesting point you made about what this does for Arsenal. Now, I think that, in as much as what does this mean for Liverpool's season, this is inspiring Arsenal. It's inspiring Arteta. It's inspiring Arsenal fans, isn't it? Yeah. And that is something that you need to sort of put to bed. Now, the one thing I will say, and why I feel all right about it from that side of things, not Liverpool's side of things, is I'm just not sure Arsenal are good enough to win every single game of football between now and the end of the season. I don't know what you think on that.
Yeah, I think certainly their fans that are watching that will be thinking, oh, They might
game on.
They'll slip up against City. They'll slip up against Newcastle. We'll win all the games. We'll go into the game at Anfield in, is it? I think it's early May, isn't it? We'll go into that game. It'll be level on points. So I think basically they need to be within shooting distance. They need to be within 1 or 2 points of us by the time that game comes around. But as I say, the reason why I think we should have a little bit of optimism is they've got to get through from now to we don't know when Saka's coming back. They've got a 17-year-old, a misfiring Raheem Sterling in attack. Trossard, decent player, but not a world beater. It took them 80 minutes to get the breakthrough against Leicester the other day. So, you know, I've a bit of praise for Arsenal, actually. I think they could have cried it in against Wolves when the lad got sent off. They didn't. They won. The fans did. They won the game. They beat City. They were struggling the other day. They got a result. So, but they're big tests for them. Like, they've come through a few big tests now. Every game pretty much they've got no wiggle room, have they? Like, basically, they've got every game as a big test for them now. You think West Ham at home, you know, should be 3 points, but then Bowen might score a worldie or something like, you know, and there's so much room for error for them. Look, they've got no room for error, but there's so many opportunities for them to slip up between now and the end of the season. Like, I'm still confident of that. I think, even if you look at our form going into last season, at the end of last season, the Everton game is obviously a disaster. We lose at home to Crystal Palace, but there's a few games there at the end, like that West Ham game where Salah has the bust up, the Villa 3-3. You think, if we're still live and in the title race, I don't think those results happen. So, you know, I think it would require a really catastrophic cock up from Liverpool at this point to get them right back in it. But I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm a little bit more worried than I was this time 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Honestly,
certainly.
like 3 weeks ago, I was certain that Liverpool were going to walk away with this league title, and now I've been brought back down to earth a little bit